A continuation of my video because I will my phone is have not enough space. That's why I need to delete some of my videos. Okay, let's proceed. So I said before that we as social worker must undergo a board examination. So it is needed and it is part of our process to become to direct and being registered social worker. So and maybe the the president of the Philippines is appointed 4 members, and for section 3 is regarding on the act issue suspended and the license to revoke the certificate of registration of social work. Article 3 is about examination and registration of social work. All applicants for registration as social work shall be required to undergo a written examination. Okay. Article 3 is yon. It's being repeated. We need to undergo written examinations for us to become qualified to registered being a social worker. Okay? So, probably it is not hard for us, okay? It is not hard for us to make examination because it is based on us on how we pass that examination specifically. Okay. Okay, and certificate of registration as social worker shall be issued all applicants who pass the examination. Okay. After approval of her or his rating by the President of the Philippines and upon payment of required fees, a board examiner has a power to revoke or suspended the validity of his or her license of certificate registration in social work and when it does by the pay his or her client. So it is very knowledgeable that we must mm, put in our mind if we are already a registered social work that we need to deny the client's gift for us or given for us, which is it is not good in our profession to receive any gift, any money that um that our client is give to us because it is violated our law or provisions. Okay? So, a board examination has the power to revoke a validity of the license of certificate registration as a social worker, and we thus they pay his or her client. As for Article 4, registered social worker agency are cannot operate or conduct service if are not already registered social work. So, it is a violation we do a um if we do a operations with relate to the profession of social work, if our our authority to make a operation is been revoked, okay, so it is hard for us to make action because maybe our Republic of the Philippines can make some consequence regarding on that thing. Okay, so let's proceed and Okay, there you go. On Article 5 is all about the sundry profession related to the practice of social work, and anyone who violates the law will be punished by paying not less than 500 and not more than 2,000 pesos or imprisonment for at least 1 month and not more than 2 years in the discretion of the court. Any person who practice unregistered social work and practice and attempts to use his or her other certificate and use false evidence and pretends to be registered as a social worker may be fined and imprisoned. Okay, we can be imprisoned. That's the reality. And we can find okay, we can pay fine if we do uh don't regarding to our professions. So we must we must follow the law and the provision regarding on our professions. Okay. The next one is the okay. These others if registered social work may be fined or repeated. The social work profession, we probably do services to assist different individuals. Also, we have meet the needs of every people in order to reach the enhancement of the community. According to the RA 4373, the social worker must practice such as code of ethics of the work profession that probably prepare us for the future work we must do we must practice such as okay we must take and through that we can be able to become effectively social worker soon and also productive. Some of the some of the registered social worker was being proceed to the process before they become registered. Okay, social worker were in the law amended by the void of the social worker commission was needed to be done. I said a while ago that we must done the process. Okay, and in order to become more prepared in the said professions, also as cited in the following section, don't and those of the profession. In particular, the social work, there are some practice that social work need to be done. As she came with the action, also there also practice that the social worker is would be able to practice because those can be violated by social worker. So as a result of bad action, so they may be punished. That's the reality. We can particular punishment is undergo for us. Okay? And it's very hard to become unregistered social work. Okay? So, even revocation of their license and their being a registered social worker soon, social work profession was very challenging, right? I said a while ago. Depression and also the probably that frontliner when it comes to the growth and enhancement of our community and development also. The society nowadays is very, you know, it's very changing. It's very hard to manage, but we social worker, we can find ways. Okay? We can find ways. The community, mm, so many learnings for module 1. Okay? That's in module 1. So, attribute of the profession was giving me a broad knowledge with regards to the practice we should do. But before that, we can adapt to, okay? We can adapt the knowledge, okay? We can adapt the knowledge which the social work assessing some of our clients which known as systematic way of theory. In the relation of that, the social worker, we can totally use some borrowed knowledge. So, we, in ourselves, our knowledge is not enough to manage some of the issues and problem relating to the society. So we need mm, some borrowed knowledge in some of psychology, uh, anthropology, such as mm, we can borrow from them. Okay? Okay, let's proceed. The existing client which is thematic way. In relation of the social worker, we can totally use some of our knowledge coming from the sociology in some of our profession wherein through that we social worker can develop that particular ideas or knowledge can derive from them. Also the profession authority can okay, in the said profession it commonly belongs to the customer's right. Yeah, it's probably a customer's right is always right. So the clients, we must make a attention for our client and make a good relationship. Okay, you must build a good relationship between us and our client, right? Okay, so before that, mm, okay. Okay. Observance of the given understanding as we would say on the basis on the sense of what is right. For professional career is about social values. We believe that in individuals is the primary concern in society norms and professional. Okay? In the professional.